Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a comparison between two monochromatic, for the most part, black and white palettes. The first one that I have is the Venus Immortalis by Lime Crime. And this one is such a pretty palette. It has so many pretty colors in there. It has the whites, blacks, grays, and it even has a little bit of red. On camera it's coming out to be like a dark gray, but this shade here is actually a little bit red, and this shade here is actually just a tiny bit pinkish. The second palette that I have is by Colorpop, and it is the Smoke Show palette. This one, again, a lot of blacks and whites. This one doesn't have so much of the color differentiation that is in the Lime Crime palette. Today I'm going to swatch both palettes and show you what they look like. And then I'm going to do a look. This eye using the Smoke Show Colorpop palette, and this eye using the Venus Immortalis by Lime Crime. So let's get into it. All right, let's get to swatching. This first color here is Unseen. Ooh, and that's that nice matte black. This next color is Echo. Oh, look at that. That is a really gorgeous color. It reflects so much. This next color is Moth. Oh, you can kind of see it. Right there. Right there. That's Moth. You can kind of see a little shine, but next to Echo, it disappears, literally. And then the final one is Marble. What? Hello? Where'd you go? You can kind of see like it's a little bit lighter there. Marble is actually like a really nice like white color. And you can already see on my fingers, which do pick up more pigment than a brush does. You can already see these are very, very pigmented, but these two, I'm not seeing on the skin. So we'll see how it goes with those two. It could be just the swatches, but I'm gonna go with that they're probably more like a highlight color. Not really something that's super pigmented. So with that white, don't be thinking you're gonna get a whole white look. You're going to get more of like a highlight on the inner corner, which I'm totally fine with. I can work with that. All right, and moving on to the second row. This one is Unveil. And that is a really nice like mauve-y red matte brown. The next one is Ash, which is a really nice gray color. A lot like ashes would be. The next one is Hail. Ooh, look at that. I have to say Echo and Hail are probably my two most favorite shades in here just by swatching. And the final color, Cameo, which is actually showing up on camera as more of like a white, but it's more like a tan kind of caramel camel color. But ooh, those look so good. Now let's swatch the Colorpop palette. They're really soft pigments, I like that. So the first color is Young Love. And that is a nice white matte. The next one is Smokin'. And that is a nice silver. So that one is very similar to Hail in the Venus palette. Next one is Stoneface. That one's a little hard to see on camera, but it is a nice like light gray. And the next one is Slated. Which is like a medium to a darker gray. All right, so moving on, we have Starstruck. Oh my goodness. That is so shimmery, sparkly. Oh my gosh. Then we have Ignite, which is a little bit more of that like brownie gray. And that's a nice matte. Then we have Let's Do It. And this will be your matte black in this palette. And that's really nice. And then we have Full Metal. Oh my goodness, that one's really nice too. That one is very similar to Echo in the Immortalis palette. Look at the reflect on those. The final shade that we have in this palette is called Night Dream. Look at the sparkle in that. That one is a black and it has like a purple pink sparkle reflect in it. So now that we have swatched both palettes, let's dip in and make a look. The very first thing I'm going to do before I put any eyeshadow on my eyes is prime. And I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. The reason why a primer is so important for people in general, but especially for people with hooded eyes like myself, is that when you open your eyes, the eyelid folds over on itself, so you can see kind of that fold right there. So when my eyes tend to get more oily because I have oily skin, or I start to sweat and that part of my skin starts to get kind of wet, my eyeshadow will disappear. It will move around, it will slip and slide, it'll just straight up pack its bags and go on vacation. So having that primer there is so important to make sure that it stays in place and it doesn't go anywhere. I'm just patting that in with a moist beauty sponge. Okay, now that I have primed, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Cameo, that nice soft kind of clay color, and I'm going to set both my eyes with that. So I'm just going to pack it on with a packing brush and just set that down on my lid. The reason why I'm going with this color is because it is closest to my skin tone. You can dip into a separate palette if you need to find a color that is closer to your skin tone, but I am just setting down that primer so it is not going anywhere. For this look today, I'm feeling more of a halo eye with a little bit of a cat eye because, you know, gotta stay on theme. I'm going to start with the left eye, and that is going to be the Venus Immortalis Eye. I'm starting off with this smaller, a little bit more tapered blending brush, and I'm going to dip into this nice gray here, which is ash. I'm going to dip into that, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to start on the outer corner and just brush that on right here. And I'm going to make just a little bit of a tapered edge. So I'm making kind of this triangle here on the corner. I'm just filling that in with this nice gray color. And I'm also really bringing that up here closer to my brow bone. The reason why I'm not stopping at my natural crease is because my crease is so low, and because of having hooded eyes, when I close my eyes, you can't see the color anymore. So I am going above just to about here and making that my new crease. Now that I feel that I have a good amount of color there, I'm going to dip into the same color, ash, and work on the inside. So I'm going to skip the very center of my eye here and I'm going to work from the inside corner to the middle part of my eye. This is what creates the halo look. You have two similar colors on either side and then a highlight color in the center. Now that I have that blended out the way that I like it, I'm going to dip into this color here, Unseen, which is that deep black. Tap it off. And I'm going to put that right here in the very corner, and I'm just going to deepen up this area. So not covering the whole area, I still want to see some of that gray. I'm just going to deepen that part up. Again, keeping with that triangular shape and pulling towards the center of the lid. When working with black shadows or dark shadows, you really want to work slowly. So take just a little bit of product on your brush and then work that into the skin. You can always add more, you can't always take away. I mean, you can, you just have to start over, and that's a lot harder. And I'm going to, again, blend that out with a little bit of the ash on my brush already. I'm just going along the edge here where Unseen and ash blend together, and just going over that line again and again and again to make them really blend together. I do find these shadows really easy to work with. They aren't super powdery. You do get some kickback on it, but not a lot. And I do really appreciate that about it. That's all blended out the way I want it, so I'm going to take a little packing brush here, the one that I used to put on Cameo earlier, and I'm going to dip into Hail, which is this nice reflective silver one right here. I'm going to try picking that up on my brush and packing that right here on the center of my lid. So it is showing up a little bit, but just as I suspected, this is one of those shadows that you're going to get better results if you just go in with your finger and you just rub into that like you're going to swatch it and then put it directly on your eye. Look at that application. Look at that shine. I'm just packing on that color, going all the way up to the edge. Look at that. That is beautiful. Look how shiny and shimmery that is. And that's what I'm talking about when you see the halo look, because you have that nice bright shine in the center and then two shadows or darker shadows on the inner and the outer corner. I'm going to blend that together just with the black a little bit, so I'm going to dip into Hail again just on my fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to go over that edge where the two of them meet. I have not forgotten about the lower lash line. I'm going to take more of Ash, that gray color, and sweep it along the lower lash, going just about halfway to 3/4 of the way across my lower lash line. And also paying close attention here at the corner, making sure that that really connects with that triangle that I made earlier. So just continuing up the lower lash line, up this corner to meet at that point. So there's the gray. I'm going to take more of Unseen, that black color, and just put that on the outer corner right here. Not going too far under the eye, just connecting that to the outer corner of the top lid. And finally, I'm going to blend that out with a tiny bit of Cameo, that nice camel color. I'm going to finish off the shadow with adding just a little bit of marble here. Remember, that one was kind of hard to show up in the swatch, so I'm really swirling my brush in there, seeing if it was just the initial swatch that was hard or if it's really not going to show up at all. But I'm going to put it on my inner corner just to brighten that up a bit and hope that it does the trick. So it is showing up a lot more. It's not a blinding effect, but you can see a little bit in there where that lightness has shown up on the skin. So what it looks like is happening to this marble color, and I'm really sad about, but it looks like it's actually sealing up. Some of these colors will do that, some eyeshadows will do that because of the oils in them mixing with the powders. And so anytime I try to take that layer away, it tends to just seal up on itself again. So it gets kind of that skin on it. So that's a bummer. I mean, all the other colors in here really have worked well. I am going to keep trying with that color and see if I can do something with it. But I'm going to take the residual that I can get off of it and highlight my brow bone with it. So right here, just underneath the arch. And see, when I can get it onto my brush, it looks very, very, very pretty. So that is the look for eyeshadow on the left side with the Lime Crime Venus Immortalis palette. Now I'm going to do the right side with Colorpop. Starting off with a light gray, I'm going to dip into Slated here, which isn't super like a light gray, it's kind of like a medium gray. But again, I'm getting some kickback with that. It's nothing crazy though, it's pretty normal for eyeshadows. And if you want really pigmented eyeshadows, you're gonna expect a little bit of kickback. So again, just brushing that on my outer corner. Doing the same thing I did on my left eye. So the difference with this one is I'm actually getting a lot more fallout than I did on my other eye. It does seem to be a lot more pigmented though. So that is a really good thing. A lot of pigment is good. You pay the money for it, you want it to work. I'm just blending that out once again. I did not put any additional pigment on this brush because in this palette I don't have that sort of skin color, but that's okay. I'm just going to blend out the gray into my natural skin. Now that I have that gray down, I'm dipping into Let's Do It and deepening up that outer and inner corner. And blending that out. I'm going to take my brush and try to apply Smokin' directly to my eye. And again, it is showing up. It is definitely showing up, but it's not nearly the pigment that it would be just using my finger. So I'm gonna take that and go directly onto my eyelid. Ooh. And in the pan, they do seem pretty close, but obviously on the eyes, Smokin' is a lot darker than Hail from the Immortalis. So I'm going to dip into Starstruck a little bit and put that on top. There we go. That's the color I was looking for. Ooh! Now that is reflective. Look at that. Ooh. It does kind of make Hail pale in comparison. Just a little bit. And that's just because this one is just so reflective. So I'm going to try and blend that in a little bit. It is blending very nicely. Oh my goodness. That is just such a reflective color. I can't get over it. I'm going to finish up this eye by doing my lower lash line, dipping back into Slated, pulling that across most of my eye. And again, connecting that with the outer V of my upper lid. And dipping back into let's do it. And putting that in just on the outside corner. And finally, working on my inner corner, I'm dipping into Young Love, just getting some of that white on there, tapping it off. Wow, that's a lot of fallout. Also a lot of pigment. But the reason why I tapped off so much is because this one is pigmented and I don't want it to show up too much, too brightly. Just going in the inner corner and pulling it down to meet up with my other shadow. And we can't forget to highlight that brow bone with the same color. To finish off this look, I'm going to throw on some eyeliner and some lashes, and I'll be right back. And this is the final look. This side is the Venus Immortalis palette by Lime Crime. This retails for $38. You can get it at Ulta or Lime Crime website. This is also certified cruelty-free. This side is Colorpop Smoke Show. They are also a cruelty-free brand, and this retails for $12. Now, which one did I like more? Well, I think that both of them are pretty good palettes. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Colorpop palette because the colors are just incredibly pigmented, they're easy to work with, and it's a very affordable palette. While this one has some very beautiful colors and I look forward to using it more in the future, I had trouble with some of the shadows actually showing up, and I had one of the shadows kind of seal up on me. So I'm going to keep trying with this one and see if maybe it was user error or if it truly is the palette. But let me know. What do you think? If you have both, if you have one, tell me what you're loving about it and what your favorite shade is down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! I feel like an idiot and I don't know what I'm doing. But hey, that primer, which I put on there, is really working. Bless you! Bless you. goodness. Bless you. All right, so now that we have swatched the, I'm gonna dip in with the brunch. Let's see where my mind is. I'm going to dip into, I'm gonna use the brush to dip into smoking and put it on my eyeball.